Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're exploring something pretty fascinating.
We are. It's a conceptual model, the Trillium Model.
Right, and it visualizes time, past, present, future, but not like a straight line. It's more dynamic, like a wheel spinning.
Exactly, like a dynamic, interconnected system. And what's really interesting is how it seems to connect these philosophical ideas about time and consciousness.
With quantum physics.
Yeah, specifically with the famous double slit experiment. It's quite a connection.
Okay, so that's our goal for this deep dive then. We want to unpack this Trillium model, look at its components, and see how these ideas from quantum mechanics, which we've pulled from our sources, a mix of philosophy and physics, notes how they sort of mirror what the model suggests.
And a bit of a preview for you. The model basically suggests your consciousness right now in the present isn't just passively watching.
It's actually shaping reality.
In a way, yeah. Very much like how observation seems to affect outcomes in the quantum world.
Intriguing. Okay, let's get into it. This Trillium model, you described it as a wheel.
Conceptually, yes. Picture a central wheel, maybe blue on one side for the past, red on the other for the future.
Yeah, the present.
The present is right there in the middle, marked 0. But crucially, it's not static. It's a system where everything is influencing everything else.
Okay, so the middle bit, the present, what's that called in the model?
That's the consciousness filter. Our sources, especially the philosophical ones, talk about consciousness here as this active interface. Think of it like the lens of perception.
So it's where you're actually perceiving, interpreting, making choices.
Precisely. It's actively engaging with reality, shaping it, not just, observing it passively.
Got it. So the present isn't just the fleeting moment now, it's an active engine. What about the past side, the blue bit, the reflected wave?
Right, the past, madish one, the reflected wave. That represents everything accumulated, your memories, your experiences, your conditioning, all of that.
Okay.
And the arrows in the diagram point inward from past to present. It shows how all that history flows into and informs the present moment. It's dynamic. It's not just dead history.
So it's alive, influencing us now. That resonates with, understanding our own conditioning.
Definitely. And then you have the future, +1, the red side. That's the probabilistic landscape.
Probabilistic, meaning multiple possibilities, not fixed.
Exactly. It's the realm of potential futures. And the arrows go out from the present, showing how the choices and perceptions made by that consciousness filter influence which possibilities become more likely.
Okay, so present shapes the future's potential.
But there's also this key feedback loop. A black arrow curves back from the future towards the present and past.
What does that signify?
As a potential future is actualized, as it happens, it integrates back into the system and becomes part of your new past, your new reflected wave.
Wow. Okay, so past influences present. Present awareness filters and shapes which future possibility becomes real. And then that actualized future folds back to become the new past.
You got it. It's a cycle. It really challenges that simple, linear A causes B view of time.
It sounds much more fluid, cyclical, like you said.
Yeah, dynamic and cyclical, lots of feedback. It actually echoes some ancient ideas, doesn't it? Time as a circle, the world being sort of recreated constantly in the present.
It does. Okay, bring in the quantum physics. How does the double slit experiment link up with this wheel?
Well, the double slit experiment, in simple terms, shows that particles, like electrons, seem to behave like waves of possibility until you measure them.
When you observe or measure, they act like definite particles in one place. The wave collapses.
Exactly. Measurement collapses that wave of potential outcomes into a single detected reality.
So how does that measurement relate to the consciousness filter in our Trillium model? Is it meant to be an analogy?
It's presented as a very strong analogy, yes. The present, 0, the consciousness filter, acts like that point of observation or measurement in the quantum experiment.
Okay.
Just as the physical act of measurement collapses the quantum wave from many possibilities into one definite state.
The consciousness filter observes or experiences the past influences and the future potentials and somehow actualizes them, makes them real.
That's the idea presented in the model. It actualizes them into your particular experienced reality. Your awareness acts like the detector.
Making one path real out of all the possibilities. But, hang on. Our source material emphasizes a distinction here, right?
A very important one.
In physics, the observer effect is often explained by the physical interaction of the measuring device. It's not necessarily about conscious awareness being the cause.
Absolutely. Critical point. Physics often focuses on that physical interaction. But the philosophical interpretation, which aligns closely with this Trillium model, takes a different view.
It suggests what? That the observer's interpretation or their consciousness itself is what actively creates the experienced world.
That's where the parallel is drawn. The model suggests your consciousness, operating through that filter in the present via interpretation and choice, effectively collapses that probabilistic future landscape into your concrete, moment-to-moment reality.
Okay, I think I'm seeing the analogy more clearly now. The initial quantum wave before the slits is like the past, the reflected wave carrying information potential. The interference pattern after the slits, but before detection. That's like the future, the probabilistic landscape, all the potential places the particle could be.
A good way to put it, yes, the potential outcomes.
And your consciousness filter, right there in the present, is what determines which potential gets actualized, like the detector clicking at one specific spot.
Exactly. And this whole dynamic, with influences seeming to flow both ways, feels a bit like those delayed choice quantum experiments, too, where choices made now seem to affect the past. It challenges simple cause and effect.
It really does. So this unified view, this Trillium model, it suggests reality isn't just handed to us.
It suggests we're constantly co-creating it. Through this interplay of our past, our present awareness, and the future potentials we engage with, the model really points to a powerful sense of agency residing in consciousness.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with a pretty big thought to consider. If your present awareness, your choices right now, are actively shaping the future.
Which then cycles back and becomes the foundation of your past.
What does that really imply about your own agency, about the very nature of the reality you experience moment by moment?
Something to perhaps ponder within your own consciousness filter.